Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle Haas. And in this one, we need to talk about how they did it again. That is right. This past weekend, Whatnot Packs round number 3 just came out. And just like last time and the time before that, they sold like crazy. Maybe the production team over at Marvel Studios should have just made packs instead, because I feel like the amount of money and volume that has moved on the secondary market is more than that of the total box office of the actual movie. Okay, obviously I'm kidding right there, but I do think it is interesting to talk about regardless, and in this video we're going to do just that. In fact, there's actually a lot of things that I would like to discuss with this product because it sort of has me thinking, and shout out to Aaron over at Josh's Comics who made this post right here. Would you rather have a 9/8 graded copy of Hulk #1 or a Whatnot Marvel mystery pack? And, coming off of the heels of this weekend and some of the sales, they're really not that far off in terms of dollar value. So in this video, I wanted to talk about, the sales, go over the market report of this particular product, and then ultimately ask ourselves the question, why would somebody want to buy a modern product versus the original copy? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about that. But of course, before I get to it, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Helps with the channel doing those things. But there you see it, guys. Whatnot Red Hulk packs sold March 1st, 2025 for $450. Now, you guys already know the drill by now. These are the mystery packs. You got 3 comics in a pack, 3 packs in a box. And you guys can see what they're already selling for. Now, I happen to have it sorted by highest price plus shipping. And the boxes themselves going around that $400 price point. The single pack's probably selling more around the $150 range. And then the actual book coming out of it, here you see 2 of them, sell for $139. Now, depending on the levels of rarity and the limited editions and such, we've kind of had that conversation here on the channel before. These books are selling at different amounts, and over the course of the next few days, I have to imagine that a lot of these prices are going to normalize in some kind of way. If I sort by, ended recently, we can see, the silver foil going for $100 right here, individual book right here, a gold foil selling for another $100 ones right here. Now, I know what you guys are already thinking. Why would anyone want to buy this stuff? A fool and their money are soon parted. But the reality is, there's a lot of people that want them. A lot of fools in comic book collecting, as you guys can see. Number 6 on Cover Price's hot list this week is the actual Whatnot Red Hulk packs. So a lot of people buying them. There's definitely demand out there in the market. And, that kind of brings me to, Josh's post right here. And the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about with this, particular product in this video is, this idea of, this or that. There's a lot of conversation in comics of like, why would anyone buy this when, with that same amount of money, they could buy that? And while that does make sense, in a lot of ways, that sort of implies that everybody just wants to collect the same or collect vintage comic books. And I know this is going to be sacrilegious to say this, but here's the deal, guys. Here's the reality. Not everybody wants vintage comic books. I know, it's crazy. I don't understand it either, but that's the reality. Some people just want to buy new products and new things. And some people just want to gamble. That's just the truth of it. I realize if you go over here to Red Hulk #1 for $115 for a, pretty decent presenting copy right here, you can get the original from 2008, the Jeff Loeb storyline. Or of course, you could take that same amount of money and buy, a Whatnot pack and try to get what is effectively a reprint of the original, but it kind of has a new shiny cover on it now. It does make you ask, why wouldn't somebody want the original? But I think we have to start normalizing this, guys. And listen, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to explain some of the perspectives that I'm sort of seeing from people and the behaviors in comic books and buying and collecting and that whole thing. I personally don't actually really like mystery boxes, or I personally am not really into like the gambling aspect of, pack repping and things of that nature. I showed an unboxing of one of the Whatnot packs here on the channel because I thought it was interesting content to share with you guys if you guys were interested to find out what's going on in comic collecting land. But, as far as my own personal collecting habits and behavior, yeah, I personally would rather own the original. Frankly, I wouldn't really want to own the original either. I would rather spend $100 on a Silver Age key, but that's neither here nor there. But I do think it's important to kind of, understand that, yeah, people just operate differently. And honestly, I think a lot of people just like buying new things. When you think about like all of the Comic-Con behaviors and stuff, and I've made mention of this on the channel many times before, how, every time you go to the vintage section, I think the barrier to entry in the vintage comic book collecting side of things is really intimidating for a lot of people. I think a lot of people just kind of walk into the show, they're just trying to be present. They go up to one of the modern booths. They're like, hey, here's a new product with a shiny foil on it. Hey, this looks like ASM 300. I'm just going to buy this thing. Because why not? In reality, yeah, they could have just bought ASM 300 original from 1988 done by Todd McFarlane. They could just go over to the vintage side and buy that one, even if they are spending the same amount of money. But I just think that like for them, it's, they just view vintage as kind of old and stodgy and boring, and they're just not into it. They'd rather have a new product. And I'm not sure that they're really thinking about the value long term. Now, based on Josh's question here, let's actually check in with what the community had to say. I'm still really salty about the amount of screen time Red Hulk got. Skeleton Key, true. Neither. Personally, don't dig moderns or much post-1968 for that matter. I mean, I'm kind of in that same boat. The pack is tempting, Vintage Comics says. Neither. If you have either or both, sell them ASAP. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second because, listen, there are things to criticize with the Whatnot packs, and we're going to get there in just a minute. Lol's good call. Journo says, I'll take whichever one I can sell for more money so I can buy some Silver Age ASM. I mean, that's preaching to the choir right there. Rage Theo says, neither. Whatnot reprints have no real market value after 6 months, and the value falls greatly after that time. Well, the Hamburglar comics, we got to actually check in on that because, anytime we do these Whatnot videos, might not be a bad idea to check in on, some of the other Whatnot packs. If you guys remember, I did the opening of the Whatnot year in review for Marvel 2024. These ones that came out during NYCC, and you can actually see it just today. $225 for a sealed pack right there. Look at this 9/8 copy of the Prism Doctor Doom, limited to 175, selling for $290. I mean, again, pretty crazy, right? That these are getting these values. $142 for the Deadpool gold foil variant, limited to 300. $21 sale for the Deadpool and Wolverine, $450 sale for the Ultimate Spider-Man Gold right there. I do believe that the Chase version of this particular pack was, the red foil variant that actually sold for $1,000. Now, I don't necessarily think that you could flood the market with these things and they would command this type of value, but there are, a handful of people still buying them here and there. Similarly, with the X-Men 97 stuff, let's take a look at this. $110 recent sale for an X-Men 97 pack. $157 a couple days ago for maybe a 3-pack right there. So still some value, probably nowhere near what it was selling for at the time in which it came out. But, there's still a little bit of demand there. And I know what you guys are thinking. Why wouldn't you just take this value and put it into an original X-Men comic book instead? Guys, we live in a world where Cheetos now sell for $87,000. There's no rationality in comic book collecting land. There's no rationality in collectibles. This is, a status game. People just want to buy the thing that other people are buying. This is how it is. This is how humans are. This is how we operate. Now, the question is this. Are people demanding this thing because they just want to have it? They like the product and they just think that it's cool to own? Or are they speculating on it? I think it's hard to know for sure. I mean, if you asked me 2 years ago, what people were thinking when they were buying a lot of this stuff, I would say 100%, no question, it is all speculation. But now, based on, where things are in collectibles, I mean, I feel like a lot of the speculators are moving over to Pokemon. I think there's other markets that have attracted the people going for the quick flips. So, the people that buy this stuff, I'm not as convinced that they're all buying it for speculation purposes. I think that there are some people out there that are buying it because they just want it. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong here. Am I being too charitable? And again, I'm not paid by Whatnot. I'm not paid by Bryce Comics or anybody like this. I'm not even personally the demographic for this product. Like I already said, it's not something that I personally would get. But if I really, distill it down and think about it, I think that we have to be a little bit fair here. Would the critiques of this product hold up in court? Is there anything wrong with what they're doing here? What's really the difference of making a product like this versus, say, when Magic the Gathering or Pokemon come out with a trading card pack? What is really the difference here? I'm not actually sure that if stress tested, you can actually distill it down. Except there is one thing that I do think is kind of an issue here. And maybe this really gets at the heart of it. It's something I had to really think about for quite a while and finally sort of clicked for me. Now in front of you, I have the original press release for this product. Marvel and Whatnot announced exclusive Captain America comic trading packs. They show the product right here. They talk about, the types of books that they're reprinting: Hulk 22, Captain America 25, Captain America Sam Wilson 6. They talk about the trade dresses and the limited editions and, limited to 1200, silver foil 600, limited edition prism foil 400, 300, signed gold foil. These are the grand prizes. There's only going to be 2,000 boxes produced. The packs won't last long. Join the event. Claim yours on Whatnot before they begin. The only question here is, well, what's the retail price? That's the difference, I think, that I'm really starting to see with these Whatnot products is that there's no retail price here. At least when Magic the Gathering or Pokemon do something like this, they have a price, right? If you go into an LGS and you buy a new Magic the Gathering product, I don't know, whatever the MSRP is like, $59 or whatever it is, right? Has a price. But the Marvel Whatnot packs don't actually have that. This is a completely different system. You go into some Whatnot seller's stream and maybe that product gets bid up to $450. And I think that that's obviously done intentionally, right? A little bit opaque in terms of what the prices actually should be. Let the market sort of decide, let kind of the hype, kind of settle in the prices for these things. And I think maybe that's where a little bit of the pushback and allergy for these products actually, comes from. Because yeah, it is a little bit weird that we don't know what the standardized price is until we go over to eBay and we say, okay, yeah, I guess a pack is $129. And so that's something I've been thinking a lot about. I really do think that there needs to be more clarity and transparency on what these things actually sell for, at retail, so that, when people are buying the product, they're buying it based on established retail price versus, what they think that they should be paying it for, in the heat of the moment when they're on a Whatnot stream. And so it would be nice to get a little bit of transparency for that of the comic book buyer. Anyways, that's all for this video. That was me going over, the weekend sales for this new Whatnot pack. I mean, what do you guys think about this overall? Would you rather buy a Hulk #1 and a 9/8, 2008 original, first appearance of this character, first cameo of this character, first cover appearance of this character? What do you guys think about that whole first appearance controversy for $290? Or would you rather have a Whatnot pack? $449 right there. More expensive than a 9/8. Of the Hulk #1 original. Isn't that interesting? I think that there's a lot of people out there that just want the new shiny thing. Anyways, that's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next video.